Deacon George from Those Catholic Men, and I got a story for you. It's actually one of my favorites, but like all stories, it should have a point. And the point of this one is, I think we focus too much on the here and now and not where we're eventually going. And Mark Twain actually had a great story that I think illustrates it. There was a pilot on the Mississippi River, the men who actually steered the old steamboats, and he had a cub, an apprentice. The apprentice was steering the boat, and the pilot was watching him. Night was coming on, and they realized there was a terrible storm coming up from the west. The pilot took over. He realized he was going into the most dangerous part of the Mississippi River, one of those horseshoe bend turns that are so common along the river, and he realized that they could die. Just at the height of the storm, when they thought that everything was lost and their lights had blown out, the old pilot from downstairs, the best pilot on the river, suddenly burst through the door, sound asleep. He was walking in his sleep. He pushed the other pilot out of the way, and he grabbed the wheel of the boat, and he threw it hard to the left, and the boat went careening down the river sideways, and they thought, we're all going to die. And then he threw it again to the right, and back and forth several times. The boat was practically doing donuts down the river. But he pulled him through. Everybody looked at him in awe. The cub and the other pilot just stared at him while he was standing at this wheel, sound asleep, doing this amazing work. And when it was done and they got into the straight part of the river, he went back, closed the door, and everyone assumed he went back to his cabin to sleep. The young cub looked at the pilot and said, my God, that's the most amazing piece of piloting I've ever seen. And the guy was sound asleep. The pilot looked at his cub and said, if you think he's good now, wait till he's dead. And that's really the whole point, isn't it? We worry so much about life on this earth. We worry so much about what we're going to do tomorrow. I know I do it. Fact is, we're not really destined to stay here. This is just part of the journey. And the next part's going to be even better. We need to stay focused, because think of how much better we're going to be when we're dead.